Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Grade 7 Coding. My name is Amanda Collins, and I am going to take you through the lesson today. I am very excited because we are going to do coding a different way. I see there's a few people in the class, and I see that most of them is their first class, so welcome. You came at just the right time. I'm going to ask you questions. You are welcome to unmute yourself or just to answer the questions in the chat for me. So let's go. What we are going to cover in today's lesson is what is coding, why do we need to code, where can coding be used, and a few of the coding languages that are available to us. So let me ask the class first. What is coding? Can anyone tell me what is coding? You can unmute yourself or you can type in the chat. Okay, so coding is a set of instructions to a computer. So let me go to the next slide. So coding is the method of giving instructions to a computer to perform a specific task. Hi Dante, who just joined us. You are welcome to answer questions in the chat or to unmute yourself. Coding is the method of giving instructions to a computer to perform a specific task. So if we speak to a computer or if we type to a computer, it doesn't speak the same language as we do. It speaks in zeros and ones. So we need to translate whatever we say in English into computer language so that more people can understand it. We are going to talk about that in this subject specifically. So if you are a pirate and you want to go and find a treasure, there's a specific route that you need to follow. So for example, if you see the ship here in the bottom left-hand corner, can you see that? The first place that it needs to go to is to that rock. And there's a different amount of steps that it needs to follow to get to that rock. So as a computer programmer, I would need to tell the computer to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps in order for it to reach the rock. The same goes for reaching the patch of sand. I would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps to reach that patch of sand. And if I want to reach the green grass, I would also need to follow a certain step of instructions. So the steps that we can follow is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does anyone in the class want to take a guess on how many steps the computer or the person needs to follow to get from the green grass to the treasure? Anyone that's interested in trying that? Let's quickly do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if I have to give the computer an instruction to go from point A to point B, I would have to tell it to do 11 steps. The same goes with this treasure map, but it's a bit different. As you can see, there's a short route and a long route, and then there's also routes to go from that's going the wrong way with a bump in the road. So we would need to tell the computer to jump over that heap of sand, for example. And to do that, we use if and then statements, etc. But we're not going to go too much into that at the moment. So now it's your turn. I want you to think of instructions that we can give somebody to get up from the chair and walk around it. what would the first instruction be that we would give to that person? Remember, the person is sitting down. What do we have to ask the person to do first in order to walk around the chair? What is the first step? Does anybody want to unmute themselves or want to try in the chat? Twilopele, do you want to take a chance? Unmute yourself and tell me. Or Simone? Okay, the first instruction that you would need to give that person is to stand up. So first of all, we're going to tell the person to stand up and then to walk around the chair. So when we give instructions to a computer, it is very important to understand that we need to follow a specific sequence of events. Okay, now, what can we learn or gain by learning how to code? The first thing is that we learn how to problem solve, because it is not easy to give a computer instructions and to let them actually follow your instructions, and you learn to solve problems in a different way. It empowers you because you can code and you can tell a computer what to do. It helps you to focus, it helps to collaborate, because coders doesn't always have all the answers themselves. They need to rely on other people to do something. And then the last thing I want to focus on is on storytelling. So for example, if you tell a computer what to do, it's like telling a story, like the example that I used in the beginning of the pirate ship. So first of all, you need to figure that out. I see Eclipse is asking, what language are we doing today? We are doing block coding, and we are doing the introduction to coding. We will start doing languages in grade 10 onwards. So for grade 7 and 8 at the moment, we are going to focus on block coding. All right, so if I go on to the next page, it joins Eclipse's question that there are many different languages. What coding languages do you know, the people that are in the class? Please tell me. Either you can unmute yourself, Yuji, or you can type in the chat. What do you want to say, Yuji? Okay. Anybody that wants to tell me in the chat what languages they know already? I can see people are busy typing. Okay, so there's Java and C# and C++ and Pascal. That's all the different languages that are available to us. It all depends on what you want to achieve through the coding that you do. If you are more into, say, for example, web design, you'll go more in the direction of HTML or Java, etc. So it all depends on what you want to achieve. This is an example of what some of the programming languages look like. And as you can see, it's not a language like English or Sesotho, it is a set of instructions. Has anyone seen a computer language before, or is anybody's mom or dad or somebody that they know a programmer? Okay. I see people are typing, but they are not pressing enter at the end of the chat. So if you type something, just press enter or send it so that we can get your answer. Okay, this is block coding, what I have spoken about previously. Some examples of block coding are Scratch and Tinker and CodeMonkey. Has anyone heard of any of these applications? Eclipse, have you heard of Scratch and PlayGoatMonkey, etc.? Okay, Swelopella says they've heard of Scratch. Who of you are using Scratch at the moment? You can just put up your hand, or you can just type in the chat if you are using Scratch at the moment. Okay, who of you are using Tinker or are familiar with Tinker? Anyone that's familiar with robotics and Mindstorms or something similar that we use to code for robotics? Okay, I can see that there are quite a few people answering me in the private chat around that. So block coding basically is drag and drop to get to a specific answer or to get to a specific instruction. So this is why I want to introduce you to the Mizora platform, which we are going to use to code from next week onwards. It's a block coding platform, but it also has Java embedded in it. So all of you want to learn how to use Java, Mizora is the platform for you. But for today, the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to play around a bit in Scratch. Quickly, just tell me again who of you are using Scratch and who of you have Scratch accounts? You're welcome to unmute yourself. Okay, Yuji says they've got Scratch with them. Okay, anyone else? Okay, so what is the first thing that we need to do when we give a computer an assignment or a project to do? Who can tell me? What is the first thing that we need to tell a computer to do? Can we just tell, so for example, in Scratch, we have a sprite, that is our character that we use. Can I just tell my Scratch to move from the left to the right? And will it actually do that for me? Or not? Yuji, can you explain to me what process do I need to follow in order for my sprite to move from the left to the right of the screen, for example? So Lapella, do you maybe have an answer for me around what we need to do? Okay, I see you guys are a bit shy at the moment, but first of all, you need to open a Scratch account and then you get your sprites. The default sprite for Scratch is a cat. And then you need to give your cat instructions of what it needs to do. You can say move 10 steps, or let me just get turn 15 degrees, etc., etc., etc. But as you can see, first of all, we need to, and you can have a chat sound, meow, etc. But first of all, we need to give the cat a set of instructions. So let me go back to my PowerPoint. Let me just go back there. All right. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to have a plan. So your homework for now is draw a map and code your brother or sister to follow the path. Okay. So you can decide if you want your brother or sister or yourself to just walk around in your house, or if you want them to do a certain activity. So to do that, what is the first thing that I'm going to ask them to do? I'm going to type it for you here in the chat. What is step 1? Step 1. What would step 1 be, guys? To understand how to code or to give an instruction. Usually, do you want to try, or Telepele, do you want to try? So step 1 would be, if my brother or sister is sitting down, I would ask them to get up. Is that correct? And then I would ask them to move towards the wall. And for that, I would need to have figured out how many steps it is towards the wall. And then I would say, step 2, walk 5 steps, for example. All right, so if I go back to Scratch, I just want to see something quickly here. I need to go to my events first. So then I'm going to say, when I click on the flag, I'm going to ask my sprite to move 10 steps. So now if I click, then it moves 10 steps. Can you see that on the right? Just want to see. Okay. But now it's only moving 10 steps forward, but it doesn't change anything that it does. So now I'm going to say, just want to see here. And then I wanted to say hello for 2 seconds, for example. And then if I go back to my events, I'm going to want this to repeat forever. So then I drag and drop it to go around there. So now if I click my flag, it's going to say hello forever. Can you see that? But it's walking very slowly, and that's not exactly what I want it to do. So now I'm going to stop it. And then I am going to ask it to meow as well the whole time. And then I am going to just go back to, and also in Scratch, I can switch my backdrops to backdrop 1 or backdrop 2. So let me quickly click on play. Can you see now at the end of each of my activities, it's going to say meow. Okay. And then because I didn't select the backdrop properly, it didn't change the backdrop, but I'm going to give that to you for homework so that you can figure out how that works. And then if I want to say, for example, make my sprite grow bigger, I'm going to say set size to 100%. And now if I click on the green flag, it's going to meow and it's going to become bigger at in every cycle. Okay, they just told me now that the screen is still on PowerPoint and I've been showing you everything on Scratch. Apologies, I'm going to stop sharing that screen. Then I'm going to just go over to Scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see the Scratch screen now?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay, thanks. Apologies for that. I'm quickly just going to start over for you. Let me just quickly. So in Scratch, remember we need to, or in programming, we need to give in something, an assignment to do. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat whatever I'm going to do forever. And then I'm going to say, when I click on the flag, I'm going to let something happen for, I'm going to let whatever I ask the sprite to do to carry on forever. So what do you guys think should be the first assignment or the first thing that I tell the sprite to do should be? I think it should move 10 steps forward. What do you think? You agree? And then maybe we can go with, it needs to say hello for 2 seconds. And then from there onwards, we could change the size by 100%. So every time I run this cycle, my sprite is going to become bigger. All right, so let's say go. And now as you can see, every time it goes a little bit bigger, it should go a little bit bigger. It's probably because it's not full screen. I'll show you now in full screen. And then I can also say play sound meow. Or I can say play sound. I can record a sound as well. And then I can also say, let's get some other events going. Set size to 100%. Oh, that's why it's not working, because I gave it the wrong instruction. So if I want to give something a different instruction, you just throw that away. And I wanted to say change size by 10% or by 10. So now it's going to go bigger or smaller by 10. So let's quickly say go. Can you see every time it says meow, it's going to go a bit bigger. Okay, so that is what you can do in Scratch and how you can give something an instruction. So I'm going to stop sharing again. Then I'm going to share the PowerPoint again with you guys. Can you see the PowerPoint again? Okay. Okay. What I want you to do, today was a very short lesson, but what I want you to do is I want you to draw a map and to code your brother or sister to follow the path. So what I need is I need like something like the pirates map from you. And then you need to show me, yes, you can put more characters. You can put as many characters as you want. And then if you want to write that program in Scratch for tomorrow, you can do that and then you can show us. And then I also want you to find out a bit more about coding languages and why we need to learn to code for tomorrow. And then you can either look at playcodemonkey.com or Scratch or Tinker. Play.monkey is very easy, but it helps us to understand the basics of giving something an instruction. Then you could go to Scratch or Tinker if you want to. I don't know, do you guys know Tinker? You can just search Tinker and then you can go over to that as well. You can do Scratch, and then tomorrow I'm going to look at all of the awesome codes that you've written, and then we will hopefully start coding on the Mozora platform, which is the South African platform, and I am super excited about that. If you have any questions, you can email me. There's my email address. Does anyone have any questions for now?
No.
Yes or no? Who just said yes? No, okay. So you can put as many characters as you want to in your Scratch program. If you only want to do one, but remember you need to draw the map on paper first. And then from there on you can go over to doing it in Scratch or CodeMonkey or in Tinker, whatever you prefer. And then tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we will look at that, and then we will hopefully start coding on the Mizora platform. Looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow, and have an awesome day. Bye.